Hello and welcome to Select 10. In this video, we'll discuss the top new Hollywood films that were released in August and September 2023 on platforms like Netflix, Amazon Prime Video, HBO Max, and others. From new action to new thrillers, this list of the top 10 movies will highlight the best new films that you should see. Also, let us know how many films you've seen from this list and which ones you intend to see next. Now let's start the video. Number 10. Retribution. It is a 2023 action thriller film directed by Nimrod Antal. In case you don't know, it is an adaptation of the Spanish film El Desconocido from 2015. It's perhaps the first action movie in which Liam doesn't perform any action. The entire movie is set in a car, so don't expect any thrilling hand-to-hand fights, but there are cool car chases, which will entertain you at times. The plot revolves around Matt Turner, who ends up trapped in his car after getting a warning that it is going to explode if he attempts to get out. The whole thing begins when an unidentified caller plants an explosive under Matt's vehicle seat, sending him on a fast-speed pursuit throughout the city to carry out an assigned sequence of tasks. Soon, a typical drive turns into a bizarre battle of life or death as Matt obeys a stranger's progressively hazardous orders in an attempt against time to safeguard his family. It is probably the weakest Liam Neeson film, but it is a decent vengeance thriller with some excellent gripping sequences and car chases, making it a good watch for the weekend. Number 9. The Nun 2. It is a 2023 gothic supernatural horror film directed by Michael Chaves. It is the 8th entry in the Conjuring universe series and a follow-up to The Nun, 2018. The story unfolds after the conclusion of the previous film, when the strong darkness suddenly begins to grow in 1956 over the city in France, as reports come out that the local priest has been brutally killed. The main story focuses on Sister Irene, who starts to look into the murder and discovers a devil who once troubled her. The narrative progresses as Sister Irene searches for information about the demon's motivation and makes attempts to stop it while gaining knowledge about trust and miracles. The story builds slowly, but the conclusion of the puzzle surrounding the demon's true intention seems a little hurried. Overall, the story is appealing but only sometimes exhibits its cleverness due to the inconsistent pace of the story and the numerous horror cliches. If you were a fan of the prior films in this franchise, you might be let down, but if you are just looking for a good scary movie, this will be a respectable choice. Number 8. The Last Voyage of the Demeter. It is a 2023 supernatural horror film directed by André Avredal. I was eagerly awaiting this one and truly enjoyed it. This film delivers on its promise of being a terrifying vampire horror, and the context of the ship makes the plot even better. The narrative centers on the people on board the trading vessel Demeter, under the command of Captain Elliot, as they struggle to make it through the perilous sea journey from Transylvania to London, while being hunted by Dracula, a mythical monster. Soon the crew suffers bizarre occurrences as they seek out where it came from, while being terrorized every night by its menacing presence on board. Overall, the movie is a treat for vampire fans and features R-rated action, while perfectly capturing the mood of its historical period, which adds a unique touch to the story. Number 7. Nowhere. It is a 2023 survival thriller film directed by Albert Pinto. The plot takes place in a dystopian future where an oppressive regime has taken over Spain, and in order to cope with an acute shortage of supplies, the leadership intends to exterminate youngsters, pregnant women, and older people. The main story revolves around pregnant Mia, who ends up separated from her partner while fleeing a war-torn nation and sheltering on a cargo vessel en route to a safe destination. However, shortly after a severe storm, Mia gives birth to the baby while she remains trapped in the ocean and fighting for her life. The first part of the story is devastating, but the second act becomes a usual survival story, which pulls down the excellent setup created by the first half. Can she survive, and if so, for how long, and will she make it to the other side? This is a suspenseful part that works very well. The conclusion is somewhat unexpected and will leave you with many unanswered questions. Overall, the film is enjoyable, but it ultimately just mimics any other survival thriller with few unique elements. So if you enjoy this genre, it might be worth seeing. Number 6. Meg 2. The Trench. It is a 2023 action-adventure film directed by Ben Wheatley. Similar to the original film's plot, this one too follows a team of researchers as they dive into unknown waters and attempt to flee from Megs after being put in danger by a sinister mining company that endangers their investigative expedition and puts them into a fight for their lives. What comes next is an action that pits Jason and his squad against enormous Megs and persistent ecological criminals while they struggle to outwit the Megs and try to prevent them from entering a human-infested area of water. If you're seeking mindless fun, then you will like this one. The action is a little bit better than in the first movie, but the story in the first movie was good, and in this part, it's pretty much the same thing with no advancements or new side stories. In general, the movie relies solely on its outrageous action. Number 5. Talk to Me. It is a 2023 supernatural horror film, directed by Danny and Michael Filippo. It was probably one of the oddest films of the year, and I was also as intrigued as the rest of you by its imaginative concept. The film was crazy and employed extreme dread to show what happens when you interfere with supernatural forces. The story involves teenagers who learn that they can communicate with ghosts by using the enigmatic sealed hand. What begins as an enjoyable activity swiftly deteriorates into a terrifying situation when one of the group participants, Mia, gets fixated on a hand and unwittingly summons a demonic being that refuses to leave. The rest of the story shows how Mia attempts to send the spirit back, unaware of the consequences that would follow. Although the flow of the film is very tense and succeeds in keeping you on the edge of your seat, the final few minutes lose some of the momentum they've built up from the start. The story is executed brilliantly, using psychological tricks instead of basic jump scares, and it has many terrifying elements that will appeal to horror fans seeking a scary film. Number 4. Gran Turismo. It is a 2023 sports drama film, directed by Neil Blomkamp. The film is based on the Polyphony digital line of racing simulation games of the same name. It chronicles the real life of Jan Martinborough, a young Gran Turismo gamer who went on to become a successful racing driver. The narrative centers on the lives of passionate gamer Jan Martinborough, who desires to drive cars in reality. Then, to his amazement, his vision becomes reality when he wins a Gran Turismo video game competition intended to select the globe's finest players and make them into prestigious pro racing car drivers. The movie shows Jan's challenges as he sets out to become an authorized professional car racer throughout the many Nissan tournaments. The film did an excellent job of doing honor to the game, and the car races were brilliant, and the way it was shot was outstanding. People who have played the game will be able to relate to the story's emotions, while others who haven't will find it predictable, but nonetheless very entertaining. Number 3. Past Lives. It is a 2023 romantic drama film, directed by Selen Song. The plot revolves around Nora and Hae Sung, two close childhood buddies who got torn apart after Nora's parents immigrated from South Korea. However, 20 years later, they meet up again in New York for one significant week, where they discuss thoughts about fate, love, and the decisions that shape their lives. The film chronicles their friendship over a period of 24 years, as they debate how their connection altered as they separated and led independent lives. And things become a little strained when Hae Sung learns about Nora's spouse Arthur. In general, the film is undoubtedly not for people looking for a suspenseful, escapism-inducing love story. This movie's interpretation of the concept of soulmates is exceptional, but you have to persist with the plot drama because the payoff actually happens in the final moments. This film, on the other hand, is a must-see for romance aficionados. Number 2. A Million Miles Away. It is a 2023 biographical drama film that chronicles the career of Mexican-American astronaut Jose M. Hernandez, a NASA flight engineer. The narrative follows him over the course of many years as he moves from a small Mexican community in Michoacan to the International Space Station. Jose Hernandez was born in the 1960s in California to a family of Mexican migrant workers and was continuously driven out as his family moved up and down following the harvest season. However, his life quickly changes when he receives a stable education and graduates as an engineer while frequently applying to the NASA training program to fulfill his astronaut desire. It is a story of determination, unity, and the sacrifices made by people in pursuit of apparently unattainable dreams. The outstanding performance by Pina as Jose Hernandez enhances the narrative's emotional effect. However, the film misses the anticipated tension and suspense moments, but as a whole, it is a delightful biopic that offers an emotionally enriching ending to a feel-good and touching story. Number 1. Fair Play. It is a 2023 erotic thriller film directed by Chloe Damont. The plot revolves around a desired promotion at a competitive financial firm, where Emily and Luke's intimate encounters turn a bit more deadly. All of this happens as a result of the promotion phase, during which the two's relationship of power fundamentally changes, and the couple is forced to confront the uncomfortable boundaries of desire and the actual expenses of achievement. The plot depicts the sexual desires of the main protagonists, as well as how their respective job trajectories caused them to become rivals. While outlining aspects of status, career, and aspirations, it wonderfully captures the internal operations of the financial system and a work environment obsessed with investment funds. The film boasts a compelling narrative, and Phoebe Dynevor and Alden Ehrenreich gave outstanding performances. The film is not just about intimate scenes, it skillfully and fearlessly examines the boiling emotions of its two characters. If you're looking for something more sophisticated and challenging, Fair Play is the movie for you, but anyone expecting an ordinary thriller may be left unsatisfied. That's it for today, thank you for watching this video. And do subscribe our channel to see more videos related to movies and series suggestions.